Hey YouTube, what's up? It's Beef Brisket here. Welcome to episode 0 of the One Painful Year Challenge. I'm going to start by explaining the basic rules. I'm going to leave this up on screen. I'll just explain it briefly and you can read the details if you want to. So number 1, no mods allowed, except Pillow's random start mod. They say that you can use UI mods that don't affect the gameplay itself, but I'm just going to keep it vanilla, except for Pillow's random spawns. Number 2, a hideout can only be used once. Once a character dies, it can never be used again. What constitutes a hideout? Any location where the survivor has slept in more than 2 nights in a row. It becomes a hideout on the 3rd night. Compound buildings are considered one unit, and then there's more to it that goes into exactly like some loopholes and that kind of stuff, and you can read that if you want to pause the video. No use of third-party maps, no Project Zomboid website world map, no map mod. Lootable maps are allowed. So like if you pick up the Moldra map, you can look at that. And I think the reason for that is because it doesn't show the exacts, it doesn't show where you are, and it doesn't show like the entire details of buildings or even what the buildings are. It just shows a general map of an area. You must abandon your base and move to a new town every 4 months. The move dates are static. 4th month and 8th month survived. You may start moving in the month leading up to those dates. So on the 3rd and 7th, you may make your move. That doesn't mean that you're forced to stay somewhere. If you're in need to abandon your base, or if you decide to change location, that's totally fine. So there's that. And there's some more to that, and if you want to, you can read that as well. No time skipping / sleep abuse with the sole purpose of passing up time. You can speed up time for mundane tasks, reading, cooking, etc. You may also speed up time if you are traveling. If you have a broken limb or are incapacitated, or if you're stuck indoors due to bad weather. You can't skip through months just for the sake of it. So that's pretty self-explanatory. You have to start a new world every time. You can't just continue on the same world. So if I die, I gotta start a new world, start the year over again. Keep track of your deaths and personal best score. I'll start a death counter as soon as I die once. For as long as I'm going on the first run, I'm not going to have a death counter on there. No dupe bugs allowed. Any kind of silly exploit is a no-go. Cheese is tolerated. And then an additional rule that was made for the new build is you cannot use the world map. So those are the basic rules. And now let's get into the settings. So we're going to go here and choose Pillow's random spawns. We're going to turn that on. And we're going to go back. We have to wait a second for it to reload. And then we'll get into the custom sandbox settings for this challenge. We choose the random spawn. And then I have a pre-saved One Painful Year Challenge mode. This mode is basically the 6 months later mode with some additional tweaks. Some things that make it a little bit harder, some things that make it a little bit different. So zombie count insane starts in December. Water and electricity start off 6 months later. This is different from 6 months later. It starts with pitch black night, which makes it really challenging at night. Erosion speed. Compost time, I believe, is different from standard 6 months later. I think that standard is 2 weeks. Helicopter event is set to sometimes. This is going to be different for me because I'm used to only doing the helicopter event the one time. The time before corpse removal, I believe, is reduced a little bit from standard. I've turned off the world map since the new build that says that you're not allowed to have the world map. I know I will accidentally hit M a few times to open up that world map, so I'm disabling it for myself. And then the infection mortality is set to instant, so if I get a laceration or a scratch, I'll know immediately if I got zombified or not. The cognition of the zombies is set to navigate and use doors. I'm not used to this. I've never played with this on. So having them be able to open up doors, open up windows is going to be brand new to me. Zombie house alarm triggering, I think that's different, but I'm not 100% sure. And here the big difference is there's no respawns for the zombies. So you kill a zombie and it's gone, it's not coming back. Alright, let's go to next. And this is the character I'm going to use. I'll give a brief description of the traits that I chose and why I chose them. It's not ideal. It's not awful. It's not great. So I chose obese. I like getting the extra points from obese, and I don't mind having the low fitness. At first, I actually watched a video that said that obese is not the greatest trait to have, but that's what I have. Slow healer. Since I don't want to get injured, period, I'm hopeful that slow healer is not going to be much of a impact. Conspicuous. I have conspicuous because I'm planning on fighting zombies and not trying to sneak around them. Short-sighted reduces the foraging range slightly, but in the regular vision, there's some difference, but I can't tell what it is. Cat's eyes. I have this because a little bit of extra vision at night is worth a lot. Outdoorsman. I don't know how much outdoorsman really does, but since we're starting in winter and since there might be severe weather, I have that one on there. Lucky's important because it gets you better loot. You have a better chance to find better loot. I got Brawler to hopefully increase my axe skill. I'm planning on using axes. Fast Learner's just great all around, you know, increased experience points, get leveled up faster. And I have Strong because I really like to carry a lot of stuff. So let's go. And what I usually do customarily is I hit random 5 times and then start. So let's go. We got Marissa Lindsay. So we'll see how she fares in the next episode, and I'll catch you in that one. All right, thanks for joining me.